Oh, ready. Alrighty. So we are back live here on YouTube for another episode of the for another episode of Accelerating Your Journey. Uh, this is Consciousness Ascending. My name is Benny Ferguson. This is a Consciousness Ascending production presentation. Interesting enough, Benny has on him had thought about saying something about it, but just the idea, and this is not the topic, but the idea of stacking experiences. It's important that as you go about this play and practice, that you continue to catalog your experiences, proving to yourself that the creative process is in motion, that it is at work, and that you are the initiator of that which is appearing in front of you. Benny's been doing this for a while and has played with it in many different ways. And even when you're becoming more and more aware intellectually, mind, that the creative process is at work, you've seen enough to know that things are not coincidence. You've seen enough not to go back to any traditional ideas or traditional ways of living that you may have grown beyond. But you still have to establish the state of being, the necessary states of being, the mental framework and the vibrational expression that align you with experience and allow you to take the inspired actions that you are urged to, that support the creation of experience. We'll say that again. Once you have a firm belief, understanding, conviction that the inner creative process exists, is constantly in motion, and that you are the catalyst to your experience, you must then and also establish the necessary states of being, mental framework, vibrational expression, frequency that will allow you to act as you are inspired in accordance to your intentions that are now bubbling up through you strong, even more strongly, on top of the foundation of you knowing and understanding the integrative process. The states of being still have to be established. Just because you believe in the integrative process doesn't mean you're the person that is able to act and move on your inspirations yet, that solidify your intentions, that create and support the momentum creating of your intentions. This path that you're on is multifaceted. It's multifaceted. And that's why you have to understand that it's a process. You can't get upset at yourself because you're growing in the process. You have to understand that you are continually stacking experience, stacking understanding, stacking the wisdom and the knowledge that is coming into you. And it helps to have support. We offer that level of support. Many offer that level of support. But are you able to access that support consistently? Able to get real time understanding based on that which is flustering you at the moment. And it's important that you're able to get that. That's what speeds up the process. But you have to understand that this is a process, but it doesn't have to take a long time. We were just in discussion with someone yesterday that we are in close contact with in support of their entrepreneurial endeavors. If one were commit to this process with consistent support, a facilitator of their journey, making their growth and expansion a priority, And what spurred this conversation was their statement that they came to this on their own. Their statement that, you know, I noticed I have very little time to watch TV and relax at home. Well, not relax, but to watch TV and those type things. They take very little time to do that. And they said that they are becoming more and more acutely aware of what comes into, what information they're allowing to come into their system via entertainment, via the news, via the radio, music, all of these things. Of what frequency is it? Is it aligned with who you are intending to be? They're becoming more and more aware and seeing that, you know what, I need to step away from these inputs for a while. And they are making that decision because they have made who they are intending to be, who they are becoming, more of a priority. And this is where we come in and we said, that's excellent that you're doing that. And this has come to you because you are making it a priority, and because of the many strides that you have made since we have been working together and support and being a support. Understand that this process doesn't have to take a lifetime. You don't have to continually struggle with past traumas and dramas. They are merely lodged within your mind with emotion. You can release these things once you have the tools. You can release them even faster when you have consistent support in doing so. And in a year, we say you can know even faster than that you are impacting yourself, making transformations because you're working at the root cause of that which you are being, which yields your experience. You can know very, very, very quickly. But as a round number of the total process of transformation encompassing all areas of your life, a short 6 months, year, 2 years, with that level of priority, you can make dramatic changes in your life. We feel as though many of you who come in contact with us don't understand this. You feel like so many things are important right now over your spiritual, your word, vibrational, energetic, mental framework, growth, expansion, transformation. You feel like so many things are important when this is the most important thing, because this is what is the source and cause of your experience. And if you make this shifting a priority, that which you are desiring to change in your experience has to change. Wherever you can find the consistent support, look into it vibrationally. Make sure you're a match. Make sure you're aligned with it. Make sure it feels good to you. Make sure you're inspired to it and utilize that support to speed up the process. Again, it doesn't have to take a lifetime. You don't have to continue to struggle with the dramas and the traumas and the pain and the suffering that was established many, many years ago, that is still casting a cloud on your life experience right now. You can move beyond those things. They were never really meant to last a lifetime anyway, even though that was a possibility. The only reason you continue to struggle with past traumas or dramas is because when you entertain the idea, you are in the same feeling place. You haven't separated this feeling place of to create a different perception. When you entertain the pain, when you entertain the trauma, when you entertain the drama, for the most part, you're feeling the same feelings of that pain and that drama when you entertain the idea. So in that, you're in the circumstance. And in the circumstance and in the energy of the circumstance is not the answer, is not the solution, is not the growth and expansion. The growth and expansion is in a higher frequency that's able to look at that circumstance and glean the wisdom and knowledge from it. And there's specific ways you can do that. And there's not great difficult ways. You can just get yourself into a higher frequency and then look at that circumstance, put it over there away from you, outside of you, and from that higher frequency, see what you see. Ask the question of your inner being, what is there for me to learn so that I can grow beyond this, and then let it go? This stuff is not difficult once you have the information. You can move even quicker if you have support. But all of this comes to pass when you make it a priority above everything else. And when you make it a priority above everything else, it won't be long before you have the understanding, before you have cultivated a level of mental frame and become more consistent in your vibrational expression to where you can see that you are and have made transformations that has shifted areas of your life and will have gained the knowing that you are doing the right things and moving in the right direction. So let's get started. Today's topic is a dominant presence. Your energies tell the story. A dominant presence, which is beautiful, which is powerful, especially from a high frequency place. Your energies tell the story. We want you to understand that the information is in the vibration. The information is in the vibration. Have you ever stepped into a room and it felt heavy? You felt like something was off or something was wrong, or there had been a disagreement, argument, a conflict before you came into the room. And you felt it even before you saw the faces, even before you saw the body language. You could feel something was off. Or you stepped into your child's room and you could feel something was wrong even before they had their back to you. Even before you saw their face, you felt like something was wrong. It's because the energies in the space were carrying the information. Carry the information. You have to understand that. And when you understand that, this is just something that every human being has experienced. They just haven't put the pieces together as to how it points to their personal power. They haven't looked at it from the place of empowerment. Wow, me being aware of this, what is the power there for me? What is the immense potential, the boundless potential in my understanding that the information is on the energy? Well, it means that the information is also on the energy in your expressing. So, in your expressing in and to life in general, if there is insecurity, fear, or hesitation, you are expressing the absence of a thing. Insecurity means no, not feeling secure, which means you are offering the absence of security, which means you are aligning yourself with the absence of security experiences that reflect the absence of security because the information is on the energies. It's on the frequencies that you are expressing. Your mental framework is lacing your energies with the information that you are expressing out. And that is what informs and guides the collaborative components that show up in support of you to create the experience that makes you feel disrespected, that makes you feel dishonored, that makes you feel out of control, all stemming from the expression of the absence of security, and vice versa. When you are expressing your idea of confidence from a high frequency place, when you're expressing your idea of high personal value and self worth stemming from the fact that you understand yourself, you know who you are excited about you're at peace with you, the good and the bad from your perspective, that which is beautiful and that which is not so great. Yeah, you have a temper, but you accept it. You're not upset with it. You don't see it as a terrible thing. You're working with it so that you can stay more relaxed. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that you are. You've accepted it. You're working on it. You still love yourself in spite of it. And so with that acceptance and with that confidence and with that high self-perception, this is the information that you're offering into the ethers on the frequencies that you are expressing. And it is reflected in kind. You come in contact with people and circumstances that look and feel confident, that look and feel secure in themselves, accepting of themselves. And in those meetings, in those interactions, there is no negative exchange. There is no low vibrational exchange because that's not what you have been consistently offering inside of that any specific experience. And if we circle back to the priority thing, that's why you want to make this thing a priority so that you can begin to separate yourself from undesired experiences in a general sense that you know have been repeating in your life. Establish the new idea. First, become aware. First, become aware of that which you must be believing, that which you are thinking, that which you are lacing the energies with. And then intend in the opposite direction. Intend higher expression. Intend the information that you are expressing in the frequencies. And then observe how it begins to show up as experience. And the more you do that, the more you create the momentum, the more you expand and accelerate the momentum of those ideas expressed, and then the more frequently they are your experience. And this, again, in turn, is a result of the stacking of experience, the cataloging of experience. You have to catch them. You have to catch. I created that. I did that. I know I did that. I thought about that 2 weeks ago. I did that. Wow, it's amazing how I've been considering this thing that I've never thought about before. I've never experienced before. And now the information is starting to come into my experience. It's plainly obvious that I am the catalyst information to my experience because I've never even considered this thing. Write them down. Do whatever you need to do to catalog and chronicle these happenings and allow them to stack on top of each other because that supports this new foundation that you're developing. Over here, you're keeping note of happenings and experiences that you know you intended, that you know you're the catalyst of. You're keeping track of all the times that you become aware that you thought the thing not great thing. You thought it. You remember you thinking about it. You remember you feeling about it, even though it was just briefly, and it showed up. catalog those, write those down. Let those be evidence of the creative process at work. And you're narrowing down and clarifying the creative process itself. What did I do? I swear I thought about it one time. I thought about it briefly. And yes, I felt it. I really didn't want that to happen. That is not something I wanted to experience. But I only did it one time. I know I only thought that one time. But you did everything right from a creative standpoint. Gave your attention to it, you felt it, and because you haven't thought about it anymore, you haven't offered any resistance to its materializing. You haven't offered any resistance to its materializing. And so it materialized with perfect timing. Now, if you think something and feel something that is an undesired experience, but the rest of the day you're communicating and expressing that everything is always working out for you, that everything is always perfect for you, materializing with perfect timing. You're communicating and expressing in the highest, you're envisioning the sun, and the sun is inside of you, and stuff to make this thing a priority. But it depends on where this lands for you,